I'm doing another follow-up video on how to import a vehicle from Japan. And I told you that all these videos, I'm doing them on the basis of my experience. And right now, I can tell you that there are two people who are importing. Actually, their ship will depart on 19th of October because of the advice I gave them. One of them is importing a Toyota Passo, or 2018 model, and that Toyota Passo is arriving at him total cost paid at around 870. It is a grade 4 and a very relatively low mileage because it's 112,000 kilometers. So that's not, the highest mileage we have seen. So 870,000 for a Passo 1000 cc is quite a good price. Then I told you there is another lady who is importing Mitsubishi Mirage 2018 around 130,000 kilometers, and it is arriving at her at around 760,000, everything paid, including delivery to Nairobi. So you can see that there is quite some significant savings. But if you don't know the local retail prices of this vehicle, what I'm telling you might not make sense. So my advice is this one. If you are wondering how much money you can save if you import, the most important thing you need to do is to walk into any showroom. If you are in Mombasa, in Nairobi, Gong Road or Kiambu Road, wherever, just walk in there, ask them what is the price of that vehicle that you desire to buy, and then the maximum you can save will be between 15 to 30%. Okay, 15 to 30%. But it is not always that you will save money, because I said some people want something unique, and in that case, saving money is not their thing at this point. So, how much do you know? How do you decide how much you can save? I was doing some analysis over the weekend, and this is what I came to notice. If you want to save money, okay, you must look at which vehicles have a huge demand in Kenya, but they are not on very high demand internationally. And I will give you a simple example. If you look at Mazdas, okay, especially, the new generation Mazda CX-5, the Atenzas, the CX-8, these vehicles, they are only on high demand in Kenya. I'm not lying to you. Mazda CX-5, they are full, you will see them every corner of this country. Mazda CX-8, they are making also a very, very strong entry into Kenya. You will be surprised that if you walk into any showroom right now, a Mazda CX-5, you will not get it for anything less than 3 million and above. The basic one will be 3 million. High respect, up to 3.5. The CX-8 will start from around 3.3. But there are those even being sold at even 4 million, 3.8, and those kind of stuff. Mazdas are on very, very high demand in Kenya. But guess what? Internationally, these vehicles, they are not very appealing. We know that the top leaders or the top brands that command a big market share globally is Toyota and Nissan, and especially from Japan. Okay, so for Mazdas, if you go to any exporter from Japan, you will be shocked to know that Mazdas are very, very cheap. But when they come to the Kenya, because of the high demand, because of the attitude of Kenyans to buy the same thing at the same time, everybody right now is talking about Mazda. 1 year ago, everybody was talking about Honda Diesel. Okay, so in Japan, you will get Mazdas at a very, very, very cheap price. Also, when you come to Kenya, you'll find that the tax for Mazdas is not that high. So if there is a brand that can save you money if you want to import, is a Mazda. Okay, take that note. Let me give that comparison to Toyotas. If you are importing a Toyota, you will not save yourself a lot of money. Why? Because in as much as the tax for Toyotas is not high in Kenya, the prices for Toyotas in Japan, they are already very high. Because globally, Toyotas have demand. You'll find that, let's say, for example, SBT is a global exporter. They don't only send vehicles to Kenya. They send their vehicles globally. Okay? There are some countries where Mazda is very popular, like Kenya. But other countries like Ethiopia, I never saw a CX-5, but I saw a lot of Toyotas. In Accra, in Ghana, I never saw Mazda CX-5s, the way I see them in Kenya. But I would see RAV4s, I would see, Toyota Rush, another Vanguard. The Toyotas were as many as you see them in Kenya. So Toyotas, if you are looking to import, you will not save money with Toyotas. But of course, dealers in Kenya, they are very sharp. They are very intelligent. What they do is that when vehicles arrive in Kenya, they will level the price. You will not know which brand is expensive abroad, which brand is cheap abroad. Okay? So, if you are looking to save money, don't import a brand that is very, very popular abroad or internationally, like Toyota and Nissans. Okay, so even Nissans, apart from Kenya, I think it is only in Kenya where we don't trust Nissans. But Nissans are very, very popular worldwide, and you also get those vehicles a bit expensive from Japan. For instance, people are buying this Nissan Days. Okay, Nissan Days is a very good vehicle for Uber in Kenya, and it is becoming very popular nowadays. But when you go to Japan, you also get it at a very, very expensive price. But what have I told you, for example, about Mitsubishi Mirage? Mitsubishi Mirage, right now in Kenya, it is being sold at around 1.1. But if you import, it can get to you at around even 800K, a good one. Okay? Because Mitsubishi is not a very popular brand internationally. All right? I have given you some ideas. The second thing you need to consider is the duty. It is the tax paid to KRA for the vehicle you want to import. There are vehicles that are very expensive locally because of the duty that is paid for that car. It's not that it was bought expensive abroad. And I'll give you an example. If you are importing a Mazda CX-5 petrol, okay, 2000cc, the duty for it is around 730,000. That is the tax you will pay. If you are importing a diesel counterpart, that vehicle will have 100,000 more on duty than the petrol. Okay? So you will realize why maybe diesels in Kenya are more expensive than the petrol. So if you want to save money, you better go for a petrol than a diesel, unless diesel is what you want. Another example, if you are importing a 650cc vehicle for your taxi business, you go for Mitsubishi EK Wagon. I saw the tax for it is around 270. Okay? But I need to confirm. I will put the exact name of the vehicle I'm talking about. It's either Honda N-Wagon or Mitsubishi EK Wagon. So that vehicle, its tax is around 270,000. Okay? It's a 650cc car, very cheap abroad, okay? But the tax is around 270. Come to Suzuki Altos. If you are importing a Suzuki Alto, also a 650cc, its tax is around 150,000. Okay? So, if you are looking to save money when importing a vehicle for Uber, you import an EK Wagon, you will spend 120,000 more paying tax compared to someone else who imported a Suzuki Alto. You get my point? So, there are 2 points of departure. Look for a vehicle that is cheap internationally because it is not popular. It is not a brand that appeals in every country. Also, come locally and check which vehicle has lesser tax. For instance, if you want to import this Toyota Sienta, if you want to import a Toyota Sienta, a hybrid has a taxation of around 320,000. That's what the tax you pay for Toyota Sienta hybrid. But the non-hybrid, you are paying around 250,000. So you have a 70,000, additional when you are importing a hybrid Sienta as compared to non-hybrid Sienta. So I'm giving you those ideas so that you can know your point of departure. You might buy a vehicle very cheap abroad, but coming to Kenya, you will be heavily taxed. And the other way, you can buy a vehicle very expensive abroad, then unakuja Kenya unakuta it is not heavily taxed, so it balances. So the best scenario is whereby you find a vehicle that is very cheap abroad, like the Mazda CX-5. To be honest, they are very cheap. The Mazda CX-8, they are very cheap. You will be surprised that abroad, the price of second-hand Mazda CX-5 and CX-8 is at par, is the same. But now when you come to Kenya, because of the local demand, the prices will go a bit high. So if you take a scenario, CX-5 petrol, cheap abroad, low tax in Kenya, check. If you want to import a crossover SUV, CX-5 will save you a lot of money. Cheers, guys, and see you in my next video.